Hello and welcome to the Closet Classroom. This segment is brought to you by Jocelyn. Yes, I am aware that the effect would have been way cooler if my hair wasn't wet, but I told you that I was going to wear this dress for at least one segment, so here it is. Today we are going to be talking about how to pronounce words in Spanish the right way. Every single stinking time. We're gonna talk about accents and how it all pans out. Let's go.
Hola, soy Jocelyn. Esta es una introducción genial.
Sí, muy genial.
Oh, yeah.
Jocelyn es la mejor maestra.
¿Verdad?
Let me tell you a story. When I was in middle school, I think, 7th grade, we used to have Spanish class for like 15, maybe 20, maybe even 30 minutes, I don't remember. But we did it once a week, every Wednesday morning, okay? And one of the things that always got me and bothered me was the accent marks, because nobody explained to me what they were even there for. Why do you need to put accent marks on letters? Why do we need that? Why can't we just be normal people here? It's civilized people. We don't need anything. We just have letters. Boy, was I wrong. No one explained it to me, so that's why it made no sense. But once you understand what they're there for, you're actually gonna be like, why doesn't English have accent marks? This is so genius. I don't know why we don't have them. But anyway, this conversation about accent marks and syllables goes back to syllables. So if you didn't learn this in, what was it, like 2nd grade, then you're gonna get a little wake-up call. And I got my computer here for notes because I forget things and I didn't want to write on these. Okay, let's talk about syllables. A syllable is, let's do the clap method. Let's start with a word. This is the first word that came to mind, which I don't know what that says about me, but hypocrite. I think that's how you spell it. It looks weird now that I'm looking at it. The word hypocrite. We're gonna do the clap method to try to figure out what the syllables are. The syllables are where the sounds break up in the word. Let me explain. It's like this. Hypocrite. Okay? Hypocrite. That's 3 syllables. Okay? Now let's break it up. Let's put a little dot. We put 2 dots in between where the word breaks up. Hip-o-crit. And it's the same concept in Spanish, okay? Let's do another English word just so that we get that. Let's do guitar. Say guitar. I said say it, okay? Guitar. Now let's do the clap method. Guitar. 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 Or I don't know, whatever you want to say. Guitar. We got G-U-I, and then we got a little dot. Tar. Guitar. You see that? Does this make any sense at all? I hope this is just review, because it's gonna be really sad if you never learned this in elementary school. Although I don't even know why we learned this in elementary school anyway. Maybe so we could learn Spanish later on? I don't know. Anyway, so this is the basis of what we're gonna do. Now we're just gonna do this in Spanish. Okay, we have this word, submarino, submarine. In English, it's submarine. Submarine. Marine. Yeah, that's what it seems like. In Spanish, it's submarino. That is 4 syllables, okay? And it goes on. Submarino. And this is important to know how to break it up in order to learn how to say these words. Because in English, I don't know if you noticed this, but I don't even know if we do this in English, do we? We talk like, let's see, submarine. In Spanish, it's kind of like you talk like da 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 da, like a da da. Vamos a aprender. Vamos a aprender. Notice how there are certain ways that it's kind of like waves. It's like a rhythm. And once you learn how the rhythm works in concept and math, then you're going to be able to do it as an art instead of math. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Oh, like I just said, art. It's like understanding how to construct something in your head, you know how it works, you know how everything goes down, but then you're actually doing it, you don't even have to think about those things anymore. You just do it. And that's kind of how it is here. There are some things to know about syllables in Spanish. The first thing is that syllables usually always start with a consonant and end with a vowel. I know, you're like, huh? What? This example, submarino. Watch how the first letter of each syllable starts with a consonant. S, M, R, and N. Submarino. That's something that's like almost every time it's going to be like that, unless it's like, I can't think of an example, but it's usually always going to be that. It usually ends, sometimes, not always, but usually ends in a vowel, each syllable. Okay, notice how B is not a vowel. That's because it's in between. If two consonants are together, you're usually going to chop it in half. Unless they're like, this is confusing. You'll get used to it. You'll figure it out. You're usually going to chop it in half, okay? Because B and M don't really work well together. You just have to split it up, right? So it starts with a consonant, ends with a vowel most of the time. And you'll get that rhythm once you just keep going. And this is just the usual break up the syllable thing. This is something I want you to be able to do, like even in English. I want you to do this in Spanish. Every time you do anything, like if I say, what was last night? I don't know, I think I saw you last night. It was comida. Dije comida. I said I don't even remember what I said. Oh, comida mexicana. So the thing is about the word comida is whenever you hear that, you're going to say comida, comida. You're going to just break it apart, say it like that, and say, break it apart, and then say it normally. Comida. Or comida. You're going to get it on the accent. And I know this is super confusing, but we're going to get there, okay? What is it? I don't even want to talk about locked syllables. It's so confusing. Okay, now we got that basic syllable stuff down. The syllables are the basics of what we're going to talk about with accent marks. An accent mark is an indication of an exception to the rule. Spanish always follows their rules. I can't think of an example where they don't, but they almost always will follow the rules that they have. Just like I said in the last video, one of the things about Spanish is that you're usually always going to know how to say it and say it correctly if you can do certain things. In the last video it was if you can pronounce your vowels, if you can pronounce your R's. I don't remember if there was anything else, but those were the main things. If you can do that, you're going to sound authentic. But another thing in order to sound authentic is you're going to know how to say the word correctly and not just with the accent. You're going to know how to break up the word. And when it comes to accenting things, they are going to tell you when the rule changes, indicated by the accent mark. So let's put a normal word. Hombre. La palabra hombre significa man, a man. Hombre is man, okay? Hombre. Now, we're going to use this example, but I want you to listen to this rule. Write it down in your notebook. This rule is super important. You're going to audibly accent the last syllable unless the last letter of the word ends in a vowel, N, or S. Okay, that seems confusing now, but you're going to get it. Audibly accenting is like what we did earlier. So with hombre, let me show you what it sounds like okay. This syllable is accented. Even though there's no accent mark, this syllable, is accented. And I'm going to show you what it sounds like when the other one is. This is first how it's supposed to be sounded. Hombre. Hombre. accent, the second syllable, it's going to be hombre, 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 hombre. Slight difference, but you're going to get used to it. Okay? In English, we probably don't think of it that much, but in Spanish, you're going to have to keep an eye on it and just think about it more. You're going to notice it because it's more rhythmic. It's a more rhythmic language, in my opinion, it sounds like. Because you can notice more easily the way that the words break up. Las palabras, palabras. Notice how it's palabras, palabras, palabras. Which syllable is accented, do you think? Is it palabras, palabras, or palabras? Obviously, it's the second one. And so that's something that you're going to want to practice. If you don't know what syllable is accented, just try accenting each syllable until it sounds right, like what we just did right now. Hermana. Hermana ends in an A. And so remember, an A is a vowel, and our rule is if a word ends in a vowel, N or S, the word is going to be accented on the second to last syllable. Hermana, hermana. There are 3 syllables. It's not hermana, it's hermana. And it's not hermana, hermana. Second to last syllable. Start practicing with all the Spanish words that you know. Let's do some more words. Amor. Amor ends in R. Everybody? What's R? Is it a consonant or a vowel? You're right, it's a consonant. And it does not, wait.
Yo, you made it to the end. Good job. Let's go. Now learn some stinking Spanish. Apply it. Do it.
For real.
Yes.
Yo,
Okay.
bye.
Do it.